Episode 3.
The real truth.
It's about raising awareness.
Obviously, it's now our place to correct those issues.
I'm gonna think, what is this?
The system which divides Hindus into...
I don't know how I felt.
I see where you're coming from with that one, actually.
And
I
cultural.
get that. Okay, I agree, 100%. Wow. This word, all the time. Colonialism.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I wasn't attacking you. There is just wrong. It's wrong.
Yeah. How? It doesn't make sense.
Welcome back, everybody. We're back in March. Hope you all had a great month. I know it's a bit late March. We had a lot of things going on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is a third episode of the Pink Lotus Podcast. So yeah, just how are you, Madhuja?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, every episode I say the same thing. Uni work is ongoing, it's a constant. Apart from that, I mean, it's been good. Weather's been getting better, which is good, right? So yeah, what about you?
I'm doing well. I'm a bit stressed because basically we update with exams. They said exams were on first, and then they said they were cancelled. And now they're saying we're having mini assessments. But the thing is, these mini assessments are basically our A levels. So technically, our exams are still on. And so I have mocks in the next month, which are actually my real exams.
Yeah.
So it's a bit scary. But
I can imagine. Oh man.
The government twisted it. I'm telling you, they literally just twisted it.
They don't know what to do. It's just
Yeah. But like, what's bad is that the government haven't come back to the schools saying how we're going to get assessed. So it's a bit sticky. But we move.
Yeah, exactly. We move.
You know what? I feel like this topic about misconceptions of Hinduism is so important.
It is.
Don't you think?
Yeah, I think it really is, especially that I'm older now and I can really understand how society actually sees Hinduism in comparison to what it actually is. I feel like there's definitely a lot of misinterpretations and misconceptions about it that really need to be addressed, to be honest.
Yeah, I totally agree. And if you're watching now, well, this is just the start of the episode, obviously. But I just want you to know that this is one of the most important episodes that we are currently doing and will probably do in the future, because it's about raising awareness. But also, a lot of you people watching this probably have no idea what we are talking about, especially for those non-Hindus watching. And so just give it a share so we can raise some sort of awareness. Madhuja, why do you want to talk about this? Or why do we want to talk about the misconceptions of Hinduism?
Well, I mean, from a personal perspective, obviously growing up, I'll be honest, I didn't have much understanding about Hinduism. Like, I knew I was Hindu, so people would ask you, like, what religion are you? Are you religious? I'd be like, I'm Hindu, and that's about it. Like, I didn't know what to say at that point. I was like, I am.
Trust.
But like, obviously growing up now and joining your foundation, I've definitely learned a lot more, and I would say I have the confidence to tell people about the religion, whether they have views that are incorrect. I now know that there are people out there that don't know about the religion, and it's not necessarily their fault. It's just the way the education system, society has portrayed it to them, and obviously it's now our place to correct those issues.
Exactly, I totally agree. Especially, you really summed it up well. But like, being a Hindu in Britain there's so many opportunities, but at the same time, it's very hard because people don't understand what our religion is, right?
Exactly.
And so for me, growing up, like you said, whenever I was talking to my friends and stuff, they asked me about what religion I was. I said I was a Hindu, right? I just left it at that. That's it. I just kept the small talk going and just shifted the conversation to something else, because either I didn't feel comfortable talking about it, which I do think so, looking back at it, that is one of the main reasons I didn't feel comfortable. And that is one thing we're going to discuss, because if you're not comfortable talking about and like telling people your culture and your religion, how are they going to know? It's not their fault.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
100%, exactly.
And like, this constantly happened. This thing constantly happened. I remember secondary school, my close friends asking me what religion I am. So I say Hindus. and it's not their fault, but they get confused between Islam and Sikhism and Hinduism. They get confused between the three. I've seen that a lot. And so, yeah, I would tell them I'm a Hindu, right? And then what happens is 6 months later, 7 months later, they'd be like, oh, can you eat this? Can you eat this? And then me and saying I have to tell them again, I'm a Hindu. That reoccurring thing kept going on. And I noticed it. I do think it was my fault because I wasn't confident enough to talk about it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure all you British Hindus listening to this, that's happened to you as well countless times. So yeah, that's just one sort of thing that's happened.
I think it's that reoccurring pattern that as you get older, you start noticing that, oh, like, why am I being asked again and again and again? And that's when it hits you, like, there's definitely a problem here. Like, if they have to keep asking me again and again and again. I mean, we've both seen, you might have seen it more often than me, but definitely something that's out there.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we can get into one of the misconceptions. People think that there are multiple gods in Hinduism. We have touched on this previously, but clearly there's actually only one god, but there are multiple forms.
Exactly. When you're talking to people, they'll be like, so Hinduism is labeled as having millions and millions of gods, billions of gods in the cow. We only believe in one god, but many forms of one god.
Yeah.
And the main reasoning behind this, which Madhuja, I believe she talked about in the first episode, was that we have many forms of one god so that us as individuals can connect to that specific form in a better way.
Yeah, if we put names to this, for example, so we've got Hanuman, which people commonly know as the monkey god per se, and then we have Ganesh, for example, so that one's the one with the elephant head, as people again say. So Kush could relate to Hanuman more, whereas I could relate to Ganesh more and have a stronger spiritual connection. So it's not to say that we're both worshipping a different god, it's just the fact that they're different forms and we feel a connection to one more than another.
Precisely. That is perfectly said. But that is going on to one of the microaggressions about this sort of topic that goes towards that. One of the common microaggressions towards Hindus is the use of references like monkey god,
or cow,
elephant god, cow worshipper, right? All of these things. I've experienced this throughout my whole childhood. And it's, I don't know, looking back, it is hard for especially young with children who are Indian and Hindus, and they're trying to get into their culture and religion, right? Imagine if someone says to you, "Oh, you're a cow worshipper," right? And
it doesn't feel good. Like, you might laugh at it then to brush it off, but it's
not good. It's not good at all. And one thing that is really bad is that if people make these remarks, right? If they make these remarks, then automatically our confidence in ourselves, our identity, which is our culture, religion, goes down.
Yeah, it diminishes by a little bit.
Exactly. And one of the main principles of York Foundation is to maintain that culture and religion and pass that culture, religion, values, moral values, knowledge, everything to the younger generations. Because if one generation loses those values, then it's gone forever.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is one aspect of York that has really helped me and you.
Yeah.
Because I know before I remember you talking to me about how you weren't that confident in your religion before, right? And your culture. But now this platform of York Foundation has allowed us to express and be more confident. 100%. So yeah, that was pretty hefty stuff, but it's good. It's good for people to know the common microaggressions, because especially British Hindus listening to this, it is kind of your duty to call them out on this in a polite way, because it's not their fault at the end of the day, even though they're making these remarks that might be offensive to us. It's not their fault. It's kind of our fault if we don't speak up and perform our dharma, which is our duty.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah. Ooh.
Another misconception, should we move on to? I feel like it is the biggest misconception people have, at least in the Western world, about Hinduism. And I feel like if we split religion and culture into two different things, this particular topic has been affected by culture a lot. However, the biggest misconception, I think, is between Hinduism and the caste system. It is, in fact, a misinterpretation.
Personally, I think this is the way I view it, yeah? Because first of all, one of the main principles in Hinduism and all religions, right, is humility and humanity, showing humility to others, right? I don't think there is one religion that discriminates against people, right? In that way.
I don't think people are taught by religion to discriminate against others.
Exactly. It's meant for harmony. And so the caste system, what I see is just a misinterpretation of one of our principles within Hinduism.
Yeah.
We believe in something called Varna Dharma, which is like our duty, our role within society. And it's mainly in our scriptures to help society works in a harmonious way.
It arranges society, basically.
It arranges society so that everybody functions properly together. And the common misinterpretation that happened is that people actually literally take this as a hierarchy.
Yeah, saying that someone's better than the other when realistically it's just a way of organizing society. A lot of the misinterpretation has come from British colonial, wow, this word all the time, colonialism.
Yeah.
When you could say invaders came to Britain, invaders came to India from Britain.
Yeah.
Obviously something that's just been passed down throughout the years, and no one has really taken the time to say that it's a misinterpretation and call people out on it, right?
Yeah.
So
like why don't you talk about the example that you had?
The uni one that I was telling you about before.
Yeah, you were telling me about some example.
So I was at uni with a couple of friends. We were watching a film called The White Tiger, if some of you may have watched that.
Hollywood film.
Yeah, Hollywood film, Hollywood directed.
Yeah.
And we were watching it, and very early on, it did mention the caste system. And I feel like I am lucky enough that these particular friends, they literally, they paused the film and they asked me, like, Madhuja, what's the caste system? Because they know that I'm Hindu. And I basically explained to them how Hollywood and the Western world has created this idea around it that isn't actually true. Yeah. And so I sat down, we explained it to them. I explained to them like the four different the four different ones, and they were understanding. Like, they were happy to be educated about it. They were happy that they got a real understanding for it, rather than taking upon years of incorrect information and still clinging onto that because everyone else also seems to think so. So I mean, we talked about it, and then we just continued the movie, and they were happy to ask any other questions that they had. So I think it's a good thing. Like, it shows that we still live in a progressive society, even though as Hindus we don't really make a big fuss out of these kinds of issues.
People are very understanding. A lot of people are very understanding.
It just takes one of us to tell them that yes, asking a question is completely fine. Like, there's no offense taken. If you don't ask questions, how are you going to educate yourself?
Exactly. We can't be offended by someone asking us questions through their ignorance. We just need to help them. And make them understand. And a lot of the times we ourselves don't know. You know what I mean? Like, that was me, man. Before I came to York, I didn't really know about I didn't really know about Hinduism properly. I had no idea. I just did what my parents told me to do. I didn't really have any interest in that stuff. I just kept my head down, did what I had to do. And that was it.
That was it.
But now I know there's only one God. There's only one God. There is no such thing as a caste system. That is a misinterpretation of Varna Dharma. Yeah. And that's that. But one thing, remember yesterday we were prepping for this and I searched up caste system, right?
Oh yeah.
And the first source that came up was from the BBC. And when I was reading that document, I just saw it was completely misinterpreted. I personally believe it's a social construct.
I see where you're coming from with that one, actually.
And cultural.
I get that. Okay, I agree 100%. There's a big cultural part to play in this. And with the BBC webpage that you're talking about, it literally says that the system which divides Hindus into rigid hierarchical groups based on their karma, which is work, and their dharma, which is duty.
That's
But the wording is so harsh. Like, it's not a rigid hierarchical group.
No, it's
not meant to divide us either.
No, it's meant to bring us together. There is just wrong. It's wrong.
Yeah. The Western world is being educated from Hollywood film, and our UK schools are being educated by exam boards that are printing incorrect information about Hinduism.
This is the worst. Yeah, we've had a few of our youth come to us and talk about how they are getting taught wrong information about Hinduism in schools at secondary school.
Yeah.
And when I was looking into it, they sent me some of the sources, right, that they were getting taught. There was this one YouTube video that they had to watch, and all these students had to watch and learn about Hinduism, right? And this video was completely mocking all the stories behind Hinduism, all the gods, like all the different forms of God. And when I watched it, I felt really uncomfortable because it was mocking, and the images were really
to 16-year-olds, like at that age, easily influenced, right? And you know what? To me, I think the most shocking part of it was it came from university learning material, and it's like, well, if this is what they're being taught at degree level, then there's not much for us lower down, is there?
No, I'm telling you, that was not a valuable source. End of. It was not a valuable source.
People were learning from that.
And I literally was so angry. Like, what is this? What is it? Because if I was a 12, 13-year-old person just watching this, had no idea what Hinduism was about, right?
Yeah.
And I watched this, I'm gonna think, what is this? This has been misinterpreted, and my initial perspective would be a negative one.
I think they really pushed it to the extreme. Like, it really is very shocking.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
we've got to correct that, right?
Yeah. So I think, Madhuja, you will put out. Yeah. Basically, I've got a few accounts from our students and youth. So if you could just share on the screen, like the accounts that we had from our youth, so you can actually see the way they felt. I personally think the main solution of this is to get professionals, people at your foundation, like people at your foundation, who are actually Hindu, who actually understand the religion, and then these people should be the ones teaching it in secondary schools.
Or even, I think what it is obviously teachers have, in their times of education and when they were supposed to be completing their degrees and their courses to become a teacher, right, they obviously haven't been exposed to Hinduism either at all or even a little bit in the same regards as they have to other religions. So when the time comes for them to teach the children in school, they don't have that knowledge. Like, they're just going off of whatever they find on the internet, right? There's no factual information there. There's nothing. There's, like, even in the, like, I'll put a picture up on the screen, but this was in the first. It literally says that Hinduism promotes violence. In Hinduism, there's a term called ahimsa, and in Sanskrit, and the literal English translation is non-violence.
Exactly. So
how it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, look, it's the teachers. Then it's not really their fault. They're just getting the wrong sources. But it's gonna have dramatic effects on the way we are perceived, and it's, in a way, if we do nothing about it, right? We do nothing about it. We don't raise any sort of awareness. We do nothing. We're just digging our own hole.
Yeah, we're just complaining, sitting and complaining. There's nothing.
We're sitting and complaining. We're like, come on.
We can do as much as we want, but it's not going to cause any change, right?
One thing I believe in is that we all should look into other cultures, other religions, understand other religions, right? Because if we get this sort of mutual understanding, then we are able to connect with people on a much more personal level. Yeah, we can appreciate their religion, we can appreciate their cultures, It's like me at my school. I used to, not so much now, but I used to go regularly to the Christian society. Yeah, and I'm a Hindu, but I still want to know. I still like to know about other religions because there's a lot of common similarities between these religions, right? I know a lot about Islam, the basics of Islam.
Yeah.
I know the basics of Sikhism and the basics of Buddhism. And I'm a Hindu. I'm a Hindu. That's not to say we shouldn't understand other religions. So I think if we delve deeper and trying to get people to understand our religion, then there's gonna be that awareness.
Yeah, those conversations will be had. Like, I've got Sikh friends, I've got Christian friends, and I will admit, when we were younger, I didn't really talk about it. But now, like, we have discussions about what we believe, what they believe, and most of the time there are similarities.
Huge similarities, huge. We don't wanna shrug it off. When someone asks you a question about your religion, just be like, yeah, I'm Hindu, and then talk about your religion. If you don't know enough about your religion, then come to your foundation.
Go educate yourself, then come back and educate your friends too. There's no harm. If you don't know, you don't know. That's fine. Like, as long as you're going out of your way to teach yourself and better yourself, then whether you have an answer right now or in 2 days' time, it's at least you're being educated, right?
Yes, cool. Like I said, the whole purpose of this is just to get people to understand these and get an insight into the actual real world and what's actually happening, right? Because if you don't know, then you can't really do anything about it.
Yeah.
You just need to think about it. That's the main thing. Just think about it, reflect upon this podcast.
Yeah.
This is another misconception.
Swastika is a Sanskrit term, and translated, it means well-being, right?
Yeah.
And within Hinduism, it's an auspicious sign, and it signifies prosperity and good luck, yeah? Which is why you'll see a lot of us either wear it on our rakhi or during religious festivals, right?
Yeah.
However, people often get mixed up between the Hinduism swastika sign and the Nazism symbol.
I think there was a post on this on Youth of Yog, so go check that out. It tells about it properly in depth. So basically, we believe in, like Madhuja said, this religious symbol. And it's not just Hindus, yeah? It's actually also in Buddhism and Jainism as well. But Adolf Hitler, he took this religious symbol and he twisted it. He literally twisted it by 45 degrees. And now it has a completely different association with his... It represents his movement. It represents the Nazi party. Yeah. And so whenever people see the swastika, they misinterpret it to be the Nazi logo. And there's obviously going to be negative connotations with that.
Yeah, it's literally been taken out of the cultural context. It's cultural appropriation, I guess.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say.
It is. It is cultural appropriation, right?
This was me when I was back when I was young, and I was like, I don't know, 12. So obviously I don't have any sisters, but we as Hindus, we believe in something called Raksha Bandhan, which is where your sister ties a rakhi on you, which is like a piece of string on you.
A thread.
And it's just a thread, and it symbolizes like that sibling love. Right? And so my cousin sister tied that on me when I was like 12. We do it every year, and that rakhi was had the swastika on it, right? To represent prosperity, to represent goodwill, well-being. And so I'm wearing this, and I remember one of my close friends again in secondary school just pointed out to me, like, what is that? Why do you wear this?
Yeah.
So, and I said, we believe it's when your sister ties you a rakhi to show that sort of connection.
That sibling bond,
That sibling bond, right? That is very strong. But then he saw it on my wrist, and it had the swastika, and he was like, but isn't that the Nazi logo? Isn't that the Nazi logo? Why are you wearing a Nazi logo?
Yeah.
Then I don't know how I felt. I actually can't remember how I felt. It's like I didn't even know what the Nazi logo was back then, to be honest. I don't even know. But like, I was just like, what do you want? What do you mean? And I didn't even say anything because I just didn't know what to say, right?
Yeah.
If that happened to me when I was young, that's got to happen to other people
So
as
many
well.
other people, yeah.
That's my good friend, and it's not his fault. It's just the first thing he did was associate that image with our religion. So that's another way in which we are negatively viewed, especially in Britain.
Hinduism has been around for a long time, and Sanskrit too. So it being a symbol, it's obviously been there before Nazism was a thing. And it's sad that people's first awareness of it was through Nazism rather than it being a Hindu symbol, right?
If you go online and you search up the swastika, literally on Google Images, you will see the Nazi logo, and you'll see comparisons between the two, because it's a huge controversy. We talked about like 3 or 4 misconceptions here, and there's so many more. We could keep talking for ages, right? Ooh, this is getting deep. This is getting deep. It's heavy topic. It's heavy, but it needs to be. It does need to be spoken about. One thing I wanted to talk about, especially directing at Indians, British Hindus in England, in Britain, right, is that our nature as people, because we believe in ahimsa, non-violence, we believe in dharma, doing our duty, keeping our head down, doing our duty and stuff. By nature, we are very passive people. Yeah. Our religion is an amazing religion, which is very peaceful religion, promotes peace and stuff. A lot of our parents, right, the older generations came from India and British colonized places, right, like India. And so when they wanted to get a better life and move to England and give their children a better opportunities and stuff, one of the mindsets that was instilled in them was that we are so lucky, we are so appreciative of moving to such an amazing country, right, compared to India. And the opportunities we had there compared to the opportunities we have here is amazing. Obviously I was born here, but like if my ancestors didn't come here, then I'd be a completely different person, right? So it's an amazing thing. But like I said, that mindset is that we are so grateful and appreciative. And as a consequence of that, if someone uses a microaggression against us, if someone discriminates against us, what do? What's our first instinct?
We shrug it off.
Exactly. We shrug it off. We're like, it's okay, man. We've got this amazing opportunity. There's no need to deal with that. And that has been imprinted in literally most of the older generations, right? We just accept it. And then it's coming towards the youth. We've been trained to just accept it, keep our heads down, do what we're doing, and appreciate our amazing opportunity here in this country.
But well, I'd say we're a lot more vocal, right?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to promote, isn't it? That's what we're trying to promote. But yeah, the youth, especially us, we need to speak up now. We can't accept this because, like I said before, if we just do nothing, we're just digging our own hole. So what do we do about this? How can we just give people an insight into what Hinduism is about, make them understand the basics? What do we do? What do you think we should do, Madhuja?
I mean, there are a few solutions, definitely, right?
Yeah.
One of them we've clearly stated throughout this whole podcast is educating ourselves and educating others, making people, especially those who are non-Hindus, comfortable in asking us questions so we can give them answers and correct information, right? Clearly, if they're asking questions, they want to be educated, they want to know what's right, what's wrong. So we shouldn't be denying them and taking offense to it. We should tell them that, obviously there may be people that might take offense to certain things, but tell them that this is the correct way of thinking about it, this is the correct information. And if you go on and talk about Hinduism with the correct information, no one's going to have an offense to it, right?
You know what I mean? It's like just basic knowledge we want them to have so that we can connect on that personal level.
You touched on basic knowledge, right? Again, with the schools. If you're teaching kids who are easily influenced the wrong information, it's like a house. You can't have wrong or unstable foundations and expect them to keep building upon it when it's all just going to crumble and fall at some point, or it's just not going to work out, right? Your foundations, your basics need to be correct for you to get a deeper understanding.
If this education system was tweaked,
slightly,
to the fact that tweaked slightly, so the fact that people had the choice to study Hinduism at GCSE, and the fact that people were actually getting taught the right stuff, then imagine how effective that would be.
We'll be having a lot more good conversations, you know, like...
Yeah, we'll be able to like converse about our culture. People get to understand us better, and we won't be perceived as such negative people, which we actually are not. We're completely the opposite.
Hinduism is a peaceful religion, like
one of the most peaceful. The whole world works harmoniously together. That's the way we want it to be.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
it's quite... let me bring up a recent affair. I'm sure everyone's been listening to the news, whether you're young, whether you're slightly older. We've all heard about Meghan Markle and the royal family, and so she revealed how sometimes we may think the royal family is a certain way, right? But actually it can be very different to what we might currently know. So what I'm trying to get at here in regards to Hinduism is we have misconceptions, but in reality they're misplaced, right?
Yeah.
So people think Hinduism is one way, but in reality it's not.
As soon as the Meghan Markle interview came out with Oprah, you get to see the other perspective.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go into that, but
whether other people think one is correct and one is the other, that's not our place to say. But our place is that there is definitely one correct view of Hinduism and there is a misconception view of Hinduism.
Exactly, and a lot of people
basically.
A lot of people see the other side of the
view.
The misconception. So yeah, we just need to raise that awareness, which I think is what which we will do in the coming months, coming years.
Yeah.
And if you are not a Hindu watching, I hope you've taken something away from this. You know, it's just it's great to see other people talking.
Yeah, it's nice.
Great to see other people. Yeah,
it's definitely nice. Like when my friends asked me about it, I was like, wow, this hasn't really happened before. But it was a nice feeling that they wanted to be educated about it.
It's great because we feel like we have say, we have value, which is what we want, right? One last thing I wanted to talk about was what we can do, right? Like we said before, we need to speak up about it. And so an example, a big out to Sanchi listening to this. I remember she talked to me about how she's become a lot more confident when correcting others, right? In a nice, pleasant way.
Yeah.
And they was talking about like science and religion and stuff. Yeah, one of the debaters was talking about how you've got religions like Christianity that believe in one God, whereas you've got religions like Hinduism that believe in many gods. And that is wrong, right? So what Sanji did was, she maybe 3 years ago, she wouldn't have the confidence, but now she has the confidence to correct that person. And she said that there is no such thing as idol worship in Hinduism. We just use that as we just use that to help connect with God, right?
The idol itself is a human concept, right? We create like the physical form of the idol for us to personally connect.
Exactly, it's Maya, right? It's a material object.
If you've been watching the previous episode, you'll know what Maya is.
Exactly, it's a material object. We don't associate the material object as God. The actual, it just allows us to connect on a deeper spiritual level with that God. You know what I mean? So yeah, I was just great to
it's great to hear.
It's great to see.
Big up Sanchi, you know, big up.
Exactly, big up Sanchi. Great to see people correcting others about common misconceptions about Hinduism. Yeah. And there are so many more, right?
Yeah, we could go on for days.
We can go on for ages, but there are so many more misconceptions. But like Madhuja said, the main thing is just to speak up about it.
Yeah.
Just
don't be afraid to ask questions. I'm sure your friends, they'll be happy to answer. Like,
yeah, exactly.
If you don't question it, you're never going to know, right? So start asking questions. Start broadening your perspective, getting the answers that are correct. You know.
It was a very hefty, deep topic.
Yeah.
But it needs to be spoken about. It's very important, and hope we have raised some sort of awareness and
understanding. Hopefully, there are some people that have learnt something.
And if you have watched this, good on you, man. Good on you. Hope it helps you in some sort of way.
Yeah.
And
do let us know, like do get in touch with us. Yeah, let's wrap it up. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the Your Foundation YouTube channel. Also, or both of our socials will be somewhere at the bottom. Don't forget to check out the Yog Foundation Instagram and the new Youth of Yog Instagram. I'll put the handles there, Also, we've got LinkedIn, Twitter, we've got all of that if you want to go
Come
check
on,
it out.
if you want LinkedIn, who uses LinkedIn?
Wow, is that who uses LinkedIn?
Sorry.
Yeah,
I wasn't attacking you. It's cool. Anyway, have a great day, man. Not man.
Enjoy
and
yourself.
woman.
Maybe get out in the sun. I mean, you could probably tell the sun is coming in through my window back and forth again and again. But yeah, have fun.
We'll see you next month, innit?
Next month.
Cool. Peace out.